WNEM TV5 News Update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Meg McLeod. Here's a quick look at some of our top stories tonight. A gruesome human trafficking case in Genesee County. Sheriff Chris Swanson says a man has been arrested after holding a pregnant woman against her will, barricading her in a room and sexually assaulting her for weeks. Swanson says it started when the woman was kicked out of her home after Thanksgiving. Investigators say 36-year-old Michael Barajas offered her a place to stay before trapping her inside a room against her will. Swanson says even if she tried to get out, they had screwed the window shut. Swanson adds the investigation into this case is still open and more suspects could be out there. Firefighters are trying to figure out what caused a home fire in Auburn this afternoon. According to the fire chief, it was reported around 1:30 and video was sent in from a TV5 viewer showing smoke coming from the home. The fire chief says one person along with 2 cats and a dog were home at the time. The dog passed away, but the others made it out. The fire closed down the road for some time while crews worked to put out the fire. State police are investigating a deadly shooting in Saginaw after a man was found dead inside a car wash. Troopers say last night around 10:45 they responded to East Holland Avenue near East Genesee to find a 31-year-old Saginaw man, Delvin Green, shot inside his car inside a car wash business. Green died at a hospital. Police have yet to make any arrests. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers. And now here's Chris with a look at our messy forecast.
Megan, first alert weather day in place for tomorrow, primarily for our counties that are under winter weather advisories. The main hazard with that is a possibility for freezing rain during the morning commute tomorrow. This is primarily for our counties that are under the winter weather advisories, and while mixing is possible elsewhere and there could be a few slick spots, we're not expecting it to be quite as dramatic in areas that are not under these advisories. That is for our counties along 127 off to the west, our areas along M55 and north of there, as well as Aranac and also Gladwin County. There are also wind advisories in place for the Tri-Cities Thumb and Flint region. Those are expected to go into effect late tonight and last through Thursday morning. Areas to the north and areas to the west are not included under the winter weather advisory itself, but the wind is listed under the winter weather advisory impacts. Your wind gust outlook shows strong winds expected to pick up overnight, primarily early tomorrow morning. They will drop off as we get closer to lunchtime tomorrow and then eventually settle even more into the evening. Your first alert pinpoint Doppler radar will show wet weather tonight, but we are expecting that wet weather to primarily stay above the ground right through midnight before we start to see that change getting closer to tomorrow morning. Low temperatures tonight, a mix of low and mid 30s. These temperatures line up pretty well with where those winter weather advisories are. The areas that are at or above the freezing mark are not expected to see as much icing, while the areas below that should have a better chance. We are expecting a glaze up to maybe 2/10 of an inch in the most extreme cases, with rain off to the south between about 1/4 and 1/2 inch. Up to 2 inches of snow are possible in the far north, with light ice amounts expected there. Hour by hour, we expect things to pick up after midnight into the early morning hours of tomorrow. We expect precipitation to move through reasonably fast, and by the late morning hours, it's already starting to taper off, and many areas are dry by lunchtime, if not a little bit before then. Going into Thursday afternoon, a little drizzle could manage to pop up here and there, but primarily expecting the threat to be during the morning. Your 7-day forecast shows temperatures will be in the 30s through the weekend, some 20s early next week. We'll have a chance for some lake effect snow from Friday through early Sunday.
Remember to tune into WNEM TV5 on air and online 24/7 for the latest news, weather, and information.